sir.
not sharing. Okay, sir.
No.
I
Okay. Thank you,
used
sir.
the first option. That is the
Okay. Thank you, sir.
screen share option. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So you can declare the fields and methods as static in this manner by using the keyword static in front of field declaration, or by using static keyword in front of method signature in this particular manner. We will look at the actual usage of the purpose of using okay, static keyword. Okay, you see here in this particular class, there are two classes in all in this particular program. In the class called as PGM10, there are two fields. There is a field called as A and there is a field called as B. The difference is this B, in front of this B, I have used the keyword static, and in front of A, there is no keyword static at this point. Okay, so there are two fields now. There are two fields now. There are two fields now which are okay, having two fields are there, A and B. One is a non-static field, that is a normal field without the keyword static, and another field is there called as B, which is declared as static. Okay, so purposefully I have used two variants of fields, namely A and B. One is a non-static field, A is a non-static field, while B is a static field. Observe, after having declared a field as a static, I have associated a name, I have associated a value with B. For a non-static field, no values need to be assigned. Only for static fields, value has been assigned. Okay, so okay, now there is a constructor. What type of constructor is this? Why do I call this as a constructor? Name of the class, name of this method is the same. PGM10, PGM10. What type of constructor is this? In my previous session, I told about the type of constructor. What is the type of this constructor? This constructor is called as a DC. DC means what? Default constructor. What do you mean by default constructor? Constructor accepting no parameters. Okay, this constructor is accepting no parameters. You see, there are no parameters that are passed to this particular constructor. So this is a default constructor. Name of this method and the name of the class are same. PGM10, PGM10. It is not accepting parameter, therefore it is a default constructor. Okay. What is the purpose of a default constructor? Initializing the fields. The two fields are A and B. Okay. It is initializing only A. Why it is not initializing B? Because B is initialized in the declaration itself. Okay. Now, this is a normal method. Next, what you find is a normal method. Void disk is a normal method. So it is a non-static method. There is another method here called as stat disk. There is another method called as stat disk. This has been declared as static. Okay. So there are in all two methods. These are the two methods that are there. Three methods are there. One is a constructor, default constructor. One is a normal non-static method without the keyword static. This one has the keyword static. Okay, three methods and two fields are there. One field is a non-static field. This is a static field. Okay, so now you see this non-static method is like street dog. Okay, a street dog can eat and digest any type of food. It can eat home food or street food. Okay, non-static method is like a street dog. You should not use these terms in your exams, right? These examples I give just to make you understand the concept. This is like a street dog. A street dog can eat and digest any type of food. That means it can access a non-static field. It can also access a static field. A is non-static food. B is a static food. Assume this is house food, home food. Static is home food. A is street food. See, it can access A and it can also access B. A street dog, disp is a street dog, can eat home food, B, or street food, A. Both can be accessed. However, this one, a static method is like house dog. Okay, this is street dog and this is house dog. A house dog cannot eat and digest street food. It can eat and digest only home food. See, that means a static method is capable of accessing only static field. So which is the static field here? B. It can access only home food. It cannot access, okay, if you try to write A here, that is, if you try to access this A, this is a home dog, this cannot eat the street food. Okay, so A I cannot access from a static method. So that's another important point that you must remember. The example what I gave is a normal method or a non-static method, that is a street dog, can eat street food. It can also eat home food. However, a dog which is reared at a house can eat and digest only the home food, that is B. A static method can access only static field. It cannot access, okay, street food, that is A. In a normal non-static variable cannot be accessed from a static method. So this is the important point that I wanted to convey. Okay, now let me come back to the this description part. The class members, which are typically the fields and methods, can be declared as static by using the keyword static at the beginning of their declaration. The static fields thus declared are called class variables. Such members can be accessed directly using the class name. You see, note, a static method can only access a static field. So to understand this, you have to understand this particular example. You see, this is a static method. Okay, home dog can eat only homely food. It cannot eat street food. This food, okay, it cannot access. So that's the point that I wanted to convey. A static method can only access a static field. However, a non-static method, that is a street dog, a non-static method. Which is the non-static method? Which is the non-static method here? Which is the non-static method out of these two methods? This void disk is the non-static method, right? This is the street dog. Street dog can access street food as well as the homely food. Both food, okay, it can eat and digest. So the same thing is conveyed here in the point. You see, however, a non-static method, that is street dog, can access either static or non-static fields. Okay, I hope now you have understood till here. Let me just increase the size of this eraser and keep this clean so that you are able to see the example properly. Okay, now what am I trying to do in this particular class? There is a class, another class called as pgm10test. Here I am writing the main method. Okay, so what should be the file name? File name should be same as that of the class name. There are two classes here, pgm10 and pgm10test. So I should save the file as pgm10test.java. This name I need to use for the file. Why? Because this is the one that contains the main method. Main method is written here. What am I trying to do in the first line? You see, you observe. What am I trying to do in the, okay, in this particular line, you try to observe. I am trying to create an object for PGM10 for this class. For this house, I am creating an object called P. So whenever an object is created, I told one block of memory is allocated for P. How many locations will be there inside P? That depends on how many fields are there. I had told, correct? How many fields are there? 2 fields are there. So you will be expecting one house for A and one house for B. You will be expecting one house for A and one location for A and one location for B. Okay, but you will not be having this particular location. It will have only one location, that is for the object P, it will allocate only one location called as A. It will be given only one location. Why only one location? Because the other member is a static member. So for the static member, it will not give a separate location. It will give only for the non-static value, that is for A, it will give one location A inside P. Now here, if suppose I create another object called as Q, if suppose I have written another statement here in the program, that is PGM10Q is equal to new PGM10 if I write. For Q, it will create one more block, and even this will have only one location, A. It will not give a location for B inside P as well as inside Q. Then for B, it will give only one location. For a static field, you observe, B is a static field. It is initialized with the value 5. 5 is stored inside this location. Okay. So for P, one block of memory is allocated. For Q, one block of memory is allocated. Okay. Both P and Q will have a separate copy of this A. You see, a non-static field, you will find a separate copy of A in the objects P and Q. But for the static field, when you have declared a field as static, then for that static field, only one location will be given, and the same location is shared between 5. This 5 is shared between P and between Q. So all objects of the class will act on this single copy only. It will act on only this single copy. Okay. So you cannot have, you will not have a different copy available for, see, for both P and Q, only one location will be allocated, and this is shared between both. P will be acting on that copy and Q also will be acting on that particular copy. So that is what you should understand, okay, when you are trying to deal with a static field. So what do you mean by when you have declared a member as static, okay, and if you are declaring 2 objects, what it will do? For every object, one block is allocated. For P, one block. If I am creating another object called as Q, for Q also another block it will allocate. And both P and Q will have how many locations? Only one location. That is the location of the non-static field. Which is the non-static field? A. A is the non-static. You will find a separate A in both. You will find a both. Okay. You will find a separate copy A here for both P and Q, but for B you will find only one copy. Okay, so that's the important point. Then another important point is, you see, out of these two methods, this is street dog. I said street dog is non-static method, and this is home dog. A street dog has to be accessed only through the objects. So I need to invoke the method. I have to invoke the method. Okay, I have to invoke the method disp either from P, okay, p dot disp or q dot disp I need to invoke. A non-static method has to be invoked only through the objects. Through the objects only I need to invoke the non-static methods. But however, you have another method called as statdisp. Statdisp method can be accessed directly using the class name. You don't have to create any object. You see, to invoke this statdisp, you see this particular line. Okay, we are using class name, that is pgm10, directly to invoke this statdisp. A static method can be accessed directly using the class name. Okay, you don't have to create objects like this. So that's another important point that you need to remember while dealing with static members. Let me show an example so that you will be able to understand. The same example I'll try to type. So I am using class. I will use one name called as X, some name called as X. Here I will write int A. This is a street food. Okay. Then I use int b is equal to 5 semicolon. This is a home food. I will try to declare this as static. Okay, so this is a static field and this is a non-static field. Then I will use a constructor. Constructor name should be same as that of the class name. So I use a constructor here. I'll give int p comma int q. I'm using a parameterized constructor here. In the example that I had shown, that constructor was not accepting any parameters. That was accepting that was a default constructor. You can use a default constructor otherwise. Why to take tension? So here I will be writing a is equal to 5 semicolon. I will not initialize b because b is already initialized. So I have used a constructor. I will use street dog now. Street dog is void disp. That's a normal method. Void disp is a normal method. So a street dog can eat both system dot out dot println. Okay, so it can access both static value as well as non-static value. I am trying to print both static value as well as non-static value. Non-static value A as well as static value B. I am trying to print here plus B. Okay, so this is a street dog. This is a street dog. I'm trying to just push this little inside so that you will have better clarity. Okay, so then I will use a house dog. House dog I'll call as void statdisp. I am naming this as statdisp. Just a different name I am using. Okay. So a house dog can access only house food. It cannot access. A house dog can access only house food. It cannot access this A. If I try to write, what happens we will see. It should show error here. It should allow only this. This is a house dog and it can eat only house food. Okay, but I am trying to access A. It should display error. I am anticipating an error at this particular point. Let it show the error. Okay, then you will be able to understand this better. So now, just now I completed designing a class X. So I will now write another class. I'll call this as XTest to write main method. Okay, so how should I write main method? Public static void main. String I need to use. Yes, it should be capital. I told this need not be args. This can be any name. Okay. So here what I do, I try to create key for the house X. This is the house. Okay, house is named as X. For this house, I need a key. Okay, what is the key name? For the house X, I will create a key called as X1. X1 is equal to X1 is equal to new. Class name should be same, followed by brackets, semicolon. So then what I do, through the object X1 dot, through the object X1, I will also create another key. Can I create more than one key for a single house? Yes, why not? Okay, I can have as many keys because it is my house. I can create as many keys as I want for. So now for my house called X, I am creating two keys. One is named as X1, another one is named as X2. So X1 and X2 are the keys that I have created, or the objects that I have created for what? For the house X. So X1 dot, through the key, I will be accessing, okay, normal method, that is X1 dot disp, X1 dot disp, and I will be also writing X2 dot disp, X1 dot disp, X2 dot disp. If I write a parameterized constructor here, it is better. So instead of writing a default constructor, I will try to accept a parameterized constructor so that it will have a different value. Okay, so I wrote. So now you are prepared to eat one idli. Your mom should provide one idli. Okay, I will call this as 10. Your mom is giving one idli, 10. Next time, your mom is giving one idli called as 20. So one integer value I am passing because there is a parameterized constructor in the above example. So x1.disp and x2.disp I gave. And to be able to access static method, I don't need a key. Directly I can use the class name. What is the name of the house? Name of the house that contains stat.disp. What is the name of the house? X is the name of the house. I will write that as x dot. Directly I can write the name of the method, stat.disp. So look at the difference between the way I am invoking a non-static method. When you are invoking a non-static method, then you require key. And when you are invoking a static method, you don't need a key. Directly you can access it using the class name. What is the name of the class? House name directly. Name of the class is X. I'm using X directly here to access the method. A static method can be accessed directly using the class name. That's what I said. So now I close main method. So I am closing main method now. Then I will be closing the class. So I need to now save the file with this name. There are two classes, one called as X and another called as XTest. So I need to use the name, okay, that contains the main method. What is the name of the class that contains main method? XTest. So I need to save this file. Okay, I need to choose the save as type as. I need to choose the save as type as XTest. All files. Name of the file as XTest.java. I'll now save this file. Where did I save this file? I forgot to check. I forgot to check the place where I saved this. I think it is directly saved in D drive, no problem. So that's the place where I want to save this particular file, where I wanted to save this file. So now I need to compile my program. So javac is the command. File name is xtest.java. Okay, so I am compiling the program. So it's giving an error here. You see, I told I am anticipating an error at this particular point. I told at the beginning only. Intentionally, I made a mistake. You see here, this is house dog. House dog is made to eat street food. House dog is made to eat street food. That is A. That results in an error I told. So, okay, a house dog, okay, can eat only how homely food. Okay, homely food is B. It can access, if it is accessing B, no problem. But if it tries to access, if a house dog, a static method can access only static data. It cannot access non-static data. But I had written A initially, so that was the reason why I got an error at that particular point. Okay, so now I am again recompiling the program with the same command. You see now the problem got solved. I am not getting any error messages here. So now I am ready to move ahead with my execution. I can now run the program using this command, no.java extension, while running the program. You see now I am able to access. You see, whenever an object is created, you all know. Okay. Now let me draw. Let me use a board here. Okay. I can also use board here. Okay. These pens and highlighters I can use. See now, for actually now I am creating two objects called x1 and x2. For x1, one block of memory is given. The name of this is x1. For x2 also one block is given, one block of memory is given. How many locations will be there in this block? That depends on how many fields are there, non-static fields are there. How many non-static fields are there in the program? You check how many non-static fields are there. You check now how many non-static fields. Only one non-static field is there. So it will give only one location. Okay, it will name the location as A here within x1. Within x2 also you will find one copy of A non-static fields. How many are there? Only one. There is one static field. So for B, it will allocate only one location, one single location, whereas for a non-static field, two separate locations. One copy of A in x1, one copy of A in x2. But for B, only one location. And inside this location, it would have written the value 5. Now what happens? Let us try to see here. Now I am creating an object here. Whenever an object is created, corresponding constructor should be invoked. Where is the constructor? This is the constructor. You are prepared to eat one masala dosa. Your mom is providing one masala dosa. Okay, so 10 is stored inside P. This P is stored inside A. So inside A means which A? There is one A here, one A here. I am creating which object? X1. So inside this A of X1, it will write a value 10. So 10 is written here. 10 is stored there when this line is executed. When the next line is executed, that is when this line is executed, what is going to happen? Okay, again the constructor is invoked. The same constructor is invoked. Now this time 20 is stored inside P. And this 20 is stored inside A. Into which A? Now into x2's A, it will write what value? It will write a value 20. Okay, so you can see 10 getting stored inside A of x1 and 20 getting stored in A of x2. This B has 5 only. There is only one B. Now x1 dot disp, when this line is invoked, when this line is executed, so method disp is invoked. So this is a street dog. Street dog can eat street food as well as homely food. Okay, there is no problem for the street dog. Street dog can eat any type of food, I told. So x1.disp means A. A means what is the output that I get? X1. I am invoking disp with which object? X1's object. So what is A present in X1? What is the A present in X1? Okay, 10. So this value is accessed. When A is displayed, 10 it will display. Next, B means what is the output that I get? I get 5. Okay, so now when the next line is invoked, next time x2.disp is executed. So now this time A and B means A means which disp is invoked, getting invoked with which object? X2. So what is the A present in X2? The A present in X2 is 20. So this time when A value is accessed, okay, it will be accessing this 20. First time it will be accessing 10, and next time it will be accessing this here. B means in both the cases it will be accessing 5 only. So what is the output that I get? A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 5 I get first time. Next time I get A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 5. You observe now what is that I am trying to do here? X dot directly I am trying to invoke the method stackDisp through the class name X. I am not accessing this with any object. Class name stackDisp. When I access a stackDisp using the class name, so what is that value that is accessed? B. B means what? 5. It has to give me the output. So now we understood what should be the output. You see now, you can now see the output as predicted. Okay, it should be giving me the same output. First time what it is giving? A is equal to 10. That is X1's copy. Okay, that is X1's copy it is going to display. X1 had how much? 10. Then B means 5. Next time I am getting 20. And 10, 5 is the first answer. 25 is the second answer. 5 is the third answer. So you check. First set of answer 10, 5. Next set of answer 25. Next 5 is the answer. So I hope now you have understood